I always thought betrayal would sound dramatic. Turns out it sounds like a keycard beeping red. The sound happened at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, right in front of the main security checkpoint at Harland Cold Storage and Logistics. I'd just swiped my senior operations card, the one with my name embossed in gold letters after 15 years of service, and instead of the usual satisfying click, I got 3 rapid beeps. Red light, access denied. "Try again," said Mitchell, the guard. He looked embarrassed for me. I swiped again. Same red beep, same humiliation. "System must be glitching," Mitchell said, but his eyes told me he knew something I didn't. That's when I saw my son Logan walking toward me from the administration wing, and I knew. I just knew. He had that look on his face, the one he'd worn since he was 12 and learned how to manipulate outcomes in his favor. Half smile, all calculation. "Dad," he said, stopping a few feet away. Close enough to be heard, far enough to maintain professional distance. "We need to talk." Behind him came Cole Hartwright, our new warehouse director. Logan had recommended him for the position 3 months ago. They'd been college roommates. "Your access has been temporarily suspended," Cole said, his voice doing that corporate smooth thing where bad news gets delivered like it's a weather report. "We're implementing a new security protocol, modernization initiative." "Modernization," I repeated. The word tasted like copper in my mouth. Logan stepped forward. "The company's moving to biometric authentication. Your card-based access is being phased out across all senior positions." Phased out. Another phrase that meant something entirely different than what the word suggested. "It's not personal," Cole added, which is what people always say when it's absolutely personal. I looked at my son, really looked at him. Logan Tilson, 32 years old, wearing a suit that cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. His hair was styled with some kind of product that made it look expensive. His shoes probably cost $600. All of this on a corporate PR manager's salary that shouldn't have afforded any of it. "When were you planning to tell me?" I asked. "We're telling you now," Logan said. "I have 12 pallets of pharmaceutical shipments arriving in an hour. Those need my authorization codes to process." Cole held up a tablet. "Your codes have been transferred to Logan's credentials. He'll handle the authorization." That's when I understood. This wasn't about modernization. This was about replacement. "Let me see that," I said, reaching for the tablet. Cole pulled it back. "Company property. You're not authorized to—" "I'm senior operations specialist. Everything in this building is my authorization." "Was," Logan corrected. "Was your authorization." The word hung in the air between us like smoke. Mitchell the guard was pretending to check his computer screen, trying to be invisible. Smart man. 2 other employees had stopped in the corridor behind us, sensing drama. "This is illegal," I said. "You can't just strip someone's access without proper notification. Labor Board requires—" 7 days written notice," Cole interrupted, "which you received via email last Tuesday." "I never received—" "Check your spam folder," Logan said. "Sometimes the system flags internal memos. Not our fault if you didn't check." He was lying. I checked my email religiously, including spam, but proving he was lying would require access to my work computer, which was behind the security checkpoint, which I could no longer pass. They'd thought this through. "I need to collect my personal items from my desk," I said. "Already boxed," Cole replied. "Mitchell will bring them to the front lobby." Now. Within the hour. I felt my hands forming fists. Forced them to relax. 15 years of working with industrial machinery had taught me patience, but it had also taught me exactly how much pressure the human body could withstand before something broke. "This is because of the Riverside incident," I said, looking at Logan. "You're still angry about—" "This has nothing to do with personal history," Logan said, but his jaw tightened. "This is purely professional." The Riverside incident. 3 months ago, Logan had wanted to cut corners on a refrigeration repair to save money. I'd overruled him, filed a safety complaint. The repair had cost the company $40,000. Logan had been furious, called me stubborn, old-fashioned, resistant to change. I'd called him dangerous. "I want to speak to Regional," I said. "Regional approved the modernization initiative," Cole replied. "Then I want to speak to their supervisor." "That would be me," Logan said. "I was promoted to regional PR liaison last month. Didn't I mention that?" No, he hadn't mentioned that, because Logan had stopped mentioning anything to me around the time he married Mara 18 months ago. Mara, who'd convinced him that family dinners were exhausting and holidays were obligation theater. Mara, who'd turned my son into someone I barely recognized. "Congratulations," I said, and let the sarcasm drip. Logan's expression didn't change. "Thank you. Now if you'll excuse us, we have a meeting." He turned to leave. Cole followed. "Logan," I called. He stopped, didn't turn around. "We're going to talk about this, tonight, at the house." "I'll check my schedule," he said, and walked away. Mitchell approached me carefully, like I might detonate. "Mr. Tilson, I need to collect your badge." I looked down at the badge clipped to my belt. Gareth Tilson, Senior Operations Specialist. My photo from 5 years ago, back when I still smiled at cameras. Below it, 15 years of security clearance levels, each one earned through training and certification. "Your badge," Mitchell repeated. I unclipped it, held it up, felt the weight of it. Plastic and metal and proof that I'd mattered here once. Then Logan appeared in the window of the administration wing above us, watching. And he was holding scissors. I saw what he was going to do a second before he did it. He held up his own badge, the temporary visitor's badge I'd gotten him last week when he needed to inspect the new storage units, and cut through it with the scissors. Quick, clean, theatrical. Then he held up a piece of paper and pressed it against the glass. The words were written in thick black marker. "We do not depend on one key card to exist." The message was clear. I was replaceable, disposable, outdated technology. I stood up straighter, looked directly at that window. "You just informed the system that the Guardian has been removed," I said quietly. But Mitchell heard me. "Sir?" 15 years of certification just passed in a few minutes, I continued. 15 years of safety protocols, equipment knowledge, supplier relationships. You can't just delete that. "I'm sorry, Mr. Tilson." "Don't be sorry," I said. "Be ready." "Ready for what?" I handed Mitchell my badge. "For the consequences." I walked out of Harland Cold Storage and Logistics at 4:03 p.m. The parking lot was still full. Second shift didn't start until 5. My truck sat in its usual spot, under the oak tree that dropped acorns on the hood every fall. I'd parked there for 15 years, long enough to watch that tree grow from sapling to shade provider. My phone buzzed. Text message from an unknown number. "Security protocols require immediate return of all company property, including parking access." I looked up. Logan stood in the administration wing window, phone in his hand. I got in my truck, started the engine, backed out carefully, following all the parking lot traffic rules I'd helped write. As I passed the window, I saw Logan watching. I didn't wave goodbye. The drive home took 20 minutes. I used every minute to not think about what had just happened. Instead, I thought about the pharmaceutical shipment arriving in 35 minutes. Logan didn't know the supplier's protocols. He didn't know that Chen Pharmaceutical required physical inspection before offloading. He didn't know that 3 of their last 4 shipments had temperature irregularities that needed documentation. He was going to make a mistake, and mistakes at Harland didn't just cost money. They cost licenses, certifications, contracts. I smiled for the first time that day. My house appeared around the bend, small 2-bedroom craftsman that I'd bought 23 years ago, right after Logan was born. His mother had left when he was 2, decided motherhood wasn't her calling. I'd raised him alone, taught him to ride a bike in this driveway, helped him with homework at the kitchen table, paid for his college education with overtime shifts and weekend work. And now he'd stripped my security access like I was a stranger. Mara's car sat in my driveway, silver BMW leased, too expensive for what Logan earned, which meant her influencer income was paying for it, which meant she was making money posting photos of food and sunsets while claiming to be a lifestyle consultant. I parked on the street, walked up the driveway, let myself in through the front door. Mara was on the living room couch, phone pressed to her ear, laughing at something. She saw me, and her expression shifted. Not quite guilty, but close. "Let me call you back," she said into the phone. Then to me. "Gareth, you're home early." "Access suspended," I said. "Where's Logan?" "Still at work, I assume." She stood up, smoothed her designer jeans. "Can I get you something? Water? Coffee?" Answers. "About what?" "About when my son decided to betray me." Her face did something complicated. "That's a dramatic word. What would you call it?" "Progress," she said. "Change. Moving forward." "By cutting my access without warning?" "You got warning, the email, which I never received." "Technology," she said, shrugging. "It fails sometimes." I looked at her. Really looked at her. Mara Chen, 30 years old, social media presence of 200,000 followers, master's degree in communications that she'd never used for actual work. She'd met Logan at some conference 2 years ago, married him after 6 months. I'd thought it was fast, reckless, but Logan had been happy, so I'd supported it. Now I wondered if I'd been supporting my own execution. "How much debt are you two in?" I asked. Her expression locked down. "That's private." "How much?" "Our finances are none of your concern. They are when my son starts making decisions about my employment." "He didn't make decisions. The company did." Logan recommended Cole for director. Logan got promoted to regional liaison. Logan processed my access suspension. That's not the company. That's my son. Mara picked up her phone. "I think you should leave." "This is my house." "Then I'll leave." "Don't." She stopped. "I want to know why," I said. "Just tell me why." For a moment, she looked like she might actually answer honestly. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Whatever she read made her smile. "Logan's been offered a VP position," she said. "Corporate wants young leadership, fresh perspectives, people who understand modern business. And I don't. You understand 1995 business. This is 2024. Some things don't change. Safety, protocol, ethics." "Ethics," she repeated, like it was a foreign word. "You want to talk about ethics? You filed a complaint against your own son. You tried to get him fired." "I filed a safety complaint about a dangerous repair decision." "That's not the same. You made him look incompetent." "He was being incompetent. And now he's being promoted," Mara said. "Funny how that works." The front door opened. Logan walked in, still wearing his suit, carrying a cardboard box. My personal items from the office. He saw us both, read the tension immediately. "Mara, can you give us a minute?" he said. "No," she replied. "Anything you say to him I should hear." Logan set the box on the floor. "Dad, I know you're upset." "Upset," I interrupted. "That's an interesting word choice. But this was inevitable. The company's changing. You were going to be phased out eventually." "By my son?" "By necessity." I stepped closer. Logan held his ground, but his eyes flickered. Nervous. "You could have talked to me," I said. "Given me warning. Real warning. Not some fake email that never arrived." "Would you have accepted it?" "I would have had time to prepare. Find another position. Transfer my certifications. Instead, you humiliated me in front of the entire security checkpoint." "That wasn't—" "Yes, it was," I said. "You wanted Mitchell to see it. You wanted everyone to see the old man getting replaced." Logan's jaw tightened. You're being paranoid. Am I? Then explain the scissors. He looked away. You held up scissors, I continued. Cut your badge. Made a show of it. That wasn't professional protocol. That was theater. I was proving a point. What point? That the company moves on, with or without you. The words landed like a physical blow. Mara's phone buzzed again. She glanced at it, smiled, then held it up for Logan to see. He looked at the screen and nodded. What? I demanded. The pharmaceutical shipment processed successfully, Logan said. No problems. Impossible. Chen accepted the new protocols. I spoke to them this morning. They're fine with digital inspection confirmation. He'd called ahead, prepared, covered every angle. You planned this, I said. I did my job. For how long? How long have you been planning to remove me? Logan picked up my cardboard box, handed it to me. Your personal items. Check to make sure everything's there. I didn't take the box. Answer the question. 3 months, Mara said, right after the Riverside incident. Logan realized you were a liability. Mara, Logan warned. What? He should know. He should understand this wasn't random. This was calculated. I looked at my son. Is that true? He met my eyes. Yes. The room went very quiet. I needed you out of the way, Logan continued. Your methods are outdated. Your safety complaints slow down projects. Your reputation as the company conscience makes other employees question management decisions. You're not an asset anymore. You're an obstacle. An obstacle, I repeated. A very expensive, very stubborn obstacle. And the VP position? Contingent on improving department efficiency, which means removing inefficient personnel. Your father. My predecessor, Logan corrected. I wanted to hit him. The urge was so strong, my hands actually moved. But I stopped myself because violence would prove his point. That I was unstable, dangerous, outdated. Instead, I picked up the cardboard box. It was lighter than it should have been. This is missing items, I said. Personal items only, Logan replied. Company property stays. My certifications are in my desk. Those are company records. My certification documents have my name on them. Issued through company training programs. Company property. I set the box down. I'm going to file a complaint. With who? Mara asked. Logan's now the regional liaison. Cole's the warehouse director. Everyone above them already approved this. Labor Board. Good luck proving wrongful termination when you weren't terminated. You were modernized. Union. Harland isn't union, Logan said. OSHA. For what? We followed every safety protocol during your access suspension. He had an answer for everything. They'd practiced this. Why? I asked again. Just tell me why you hate me this much. Logan's expression didn't change. I don't hate you. I just don't need you. Those words hurt worse than anything else he could have said. Mara's phone buzzed again. She looked at it, then showed Logan. They both smiled. What now? I demanded. Nothing that concerns you, Mara said. But Logan's smile told me everything. Something else was happening. Something worse than losing my job. Get out, I said. This is your house, Logan replied. We're guests. We'll leave when we're ready. Get out now. Or what? Mara asked. You'll throw us out? That would be assault. We have witnesses. She held up her phone. Recording. Smart. Cruel. Calculated. I picked up my cardboard box and walked to my bedroom, closed the door, set the box on the bed, opened it. Inside, one coffee mug with my name on it. A desk calendar from 2019, 3 pens, a stapler, a photo of Logan graduating college, back when he still smiled at me. 15 years of work reduced to items that fit in a shoebox. I sat on the bed and tried to breathe normally. Tried not to think about mortgage payments and health insurance and what happens to men my age when they lose their careers. I went very still. She wasn't talking to Logan. She was on the phone with someone else. The door wasn't fully closed. I could hear everything. The key is getting him declared mentally unfit. Logan's already filed preliminary paperwork. Once that goes through, we can redirect the pension benefits to Logan as primary family beneficiary. My heart stopped. And the house equity, too. Gareth's been so focused on work, he hasn't updated his documentation in years. Everything still lists Logan as power of attorney from when he turned 18. We can liquidate whenever we want. I stood up, walked quietly to the door, listened. Care facility is the best option. Somewhere affordable, somewhere that won't drain resources. Logan found a place upstate that takes Medicaid. Once Gareth's assets are transferred, we can move him there. 3 months, maybe 4, and this whole thing is settled. They were planning to put me away. Take everything. Erase me. Mara laughed at something the other person said. Right? It's almost too easy. And the best part? He has no idea. He thinks this is about his job. He doesn't realize we're taking his entire life. I pushed the door open, walked into the living room. Mara was sitting on my couch, phone on speaker, talking to someone named Jessica. I have to go, Mara said quickly, ending the call. Logan stood by the window, looking at something on his tablet. I heard everything, I said. Mara's face went pale, then recovered. Heard what? The pension, the care facility, all of it. Logan looked up from his tablet. You were eavesdropping. In my own house. Private conversation. About me. About stealing my assets. Not stealing, Logan said calmly. Legal transfer through proper channels. Power of attorney isn't supposed to be used like this. Power of attorney allows the designated person to make financial decisions in the best interest of the principal. That's you. And honestly, Dad, you're not making good decisions anymore. Because I won't let you rob me? Because you're showing signs of instability, Logan replied. He picked up a folder from the coffee table, handed it to me. I've been documenting behavioral concerns for 3 months. I opened the folder. Inside were printed emails, dated and signed. Subject: Concern regarding Gareth Tilson's judgment, 8/15/24. Subject: Second incident of erratic behavior, 8/22/24. Subject: Requesting mental health evaluation, 9/03/24. All from Logan to HR. All describing me as confused, aggressive, paranoid, all lies. These are fabricated, I said. They're documented concerns from a worried son. You're building a case. I'm protecting you from yourself. By taking everything I own? By ensuring you're cared for, Logan said. You're getting older. Your judgment is declining. Someone needs to take responsibility. I'm 58 years old, not 80. And already showing signs of cognitive decline? Such as? You forgot your badge swipe sequence today, Logan said. Mitchell had to remind you. The system was glitching. Or you forgot the new protocol we implemented last week. What new protocol? Exactly, Logan said, smiling. It was a trap. There was no new protocol, but now if I tried to prove there wasn't one, I'd look confused. And if I admitted I didn't know about it, I'd look incompetent. I looked at Mara. This was your idea, wasn't it? This was necessity, she replied. You married him for the inheritance. I married him because I love him. You married him because you're drowning in debt and needed a solution. Her expression flickered. You don't know anything about our finances. I know you lease a BMW you can't afford. I know your lifestyle consulting business hasn't turned a profit in 18 months. I know Logan's salary doesn't cover your spending. So yes, I know about your finances. This conversation is over, Logan said. He closed his tablet. Mara, let's go. Not yet, I said. We're going to settle this. There's nothing to settle. You're not taking my pension. That's not your decision anymore. Like hell it isn't. Logan stepped closer. We were the same height, but he was younger, stronger. His eyes held no warmth, no recognition of history or family. Dad, you need to accept reality. Your career is over, your influence is gone, your assets will be managed by someone more capable. This is happening whether you fight it or not. Then I'll fight it. And lose, Mara added. We have documentation. We have legal authority. We have everything. You have nothing, I said. Because I'm not mentally unfit. Any evaluation will prove that. Will it? Logan asked. Because I have 3 months of documented erratic behavior. I have testimony from coworkers about your paranoia. I have evidence of you threatening violence today at the security checkpoint. I never threatened anyone. Mitchell says differently. So does Cole. They're both willing to testify. They'd prepared witnesses, testimony, a complete fabrication. This is fraud, I said. This is family, Logan replied, taking care of a declining parent. Very sympathetic, very legal. He headed for the door. Mara followed. Logan, I called. He stopped, didn't turn around. You're going to regret this. No, he said. I'm really not. They left. The door closed behind them. I stood in my living room, holding a folder full of lies, surrounded by 15 years of memories, and realized something important. My son had declared war. And wars don't end with surrender. They end with victory. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I sat at my kitchen table with the folder Logan had given me, reading every fabricated document, memorizing every false claim. By 3 a.m., I understood their strategy completely. By 4 a.m., I'd started building my counter-strategy. By sunrise, I'd become someone I didn't fully recognize. Someone calculated, someone willing to fight dirty, someone who'd stopped being their father and started being their problem. The coffee tasted bitter. I drank it anyway. Caffeine and anger, breakfast of the newly betrayed. My phone buzzed. Text message from Ralph Henderson, my friend and coworker, former coworker now, who ran the forklift operations. Heard what happened. You okay? I typed back. Been better. Need a favor. Name it. How much do you know about the new access protocols? 3 dots appeared. Then, there are no new access protocols. Logan made that up. I smiled. First piece of evidence. Can you document that? I texted. Already did. Sent memo to Cole yesterday questioning the protocols. He told me to drop it. Don't drop it. Wasn't planning to. Ralph had been at Harland for 20 years. Longer than me. He'd seen enough corporate manipulation to recognize it instantly. And unlike me, he still had access to everything. I'm going to need more help, I typed. Whatever you need. I hesitated, then typed, this might get ugly. Good, Ralph replied. Ugly's my specialty. At 7 a.m., I drove to the public library, used their computers to access my personal email account, the one Logan couldn't monitor, started documenting everything. Timeline of events, recorded conversations, photos of the scissors incident from security camera angles visible through the administration wing windows. I'd taken photos on my phone before I left. By 9 a.m., I had a file that would make any lawyer smile. By 10 a.m., I'd contacted 3 different attorneys. 2 were too expensive. The third, a woman named Patricia Reeves, agreed to a consultation. Bring everything you have, she said. If this is elder abuse, we can file protective orders. I'm not elderly. You're over 55. That's legally vulnerable population in this state. Vulnerable. I'd never thought of myself as vulnerable. But legally, apparently I was. Can they really take my pension? I asked. If they have power of attorney and can prove mental incompetence, yes. It's difficult but possible. How do I stop them? Prove you're competent. Get your own mental evaluation. Revoke the power of attorney. Document everything they're doing. I'm already documenting. Document more, Patricia said. And don't do anything that could be construed as harassment or threatening behavior. They're building a case that you're unstable. Don't help them. I thanked her, hung up, stared at my phone. Don't do anything unstable. Right. I looked at my messages. 12 texts from Logan, each one demanding I return company property I supposedly took. I hadn't taken anything beyond what was in that box, but he was creating a paper trail of theft allegations. I didn't respond. Patricia said not to engage. Instead, I drove to the county records office. Spent 2 hours pulling property deeds, pension documentation, legal records, everything with my name on it. The clerk, a woman in her 60s named Dorothy, helped me navigate the system. When I explained what I was looking for, she gave me a knowing look. Family trying to take control? She asked. Son and daughter-in-law. Happens more than you'd think. You need to update your documentation immediately. Remove his power of attorney. Create new beneficiary designations. Otherwise, he can move forward legally. How long does that take? Depends on the documents. Power of attorney revocation is immediate if filed correctly. Beneficiary changes can take a few weeks. I don't have weeks. Then you'd better start today. I filed the revocation paperwork right there. Cost me $80 in processing fees, but Dorothy expedited it. Said she'd seen too many good people get robbed by their children, and she wasn't going to let it happen again if she could help it. You'll receive confirmation by mail in 3 days, she said. Keep copies of everything. And Mr. Tilson? Be careful. People who steal from family don't stop just because you file paperwork. I drove home at noon, found my front door unlocked. I knew I'd locked it that morning. I pushed the door open carefully, listened. No sounds. Inside, everything looked normal at first. Then I noticed small changes. Books shifted on the shelf. Kitchen drawers slightly open. Bedroom closet disturbed. Someone had searched my house. I checked my laptop. Password protected, still locked. My filing cabinet, still locked. My safe in the bedroom closet, also still locked. But someone had been here, looking for something. I checked my phone. No messages, no missed calls. Then I saw it. On my kitchen table. A single piece of paper, handwritten in Mara's flowing script. We know you went to see a lawyer. This won't help. We have everything we need. Stop fighting and this ends painlessly. Keep fighting and we'll make sure everyone knows how unstable you've become. Your choice. M. They were tracking me. Somehow they knew where I'd been, who I'd spoken to. I looked around my house, suddenly aware that my privacy had been compromised at every level. I grabbed my laptop, my important documents, my passport, and threw them in a duffel bag. Left the house, drove to the nearest hotel, checked in with cash. The clerk gave me a room on the 2nd floor. I locked the door, engaged the security latch, and sat on the bed trying to figure out how they were tracking me. My phone had to be my phone. I powered it down completely, removed the SIM card. Felt paranoid doing it, but Patricia's words echoed. Document everything. Stay ahead of them. I used the hotel phone to call Ralph. Gave him the hotel name and room number. Asked him to come by after his shift. He arrived at 6 p.m. with a bag of takeout burgers and a serious expression. You're not being paranoid, he said immediately. I checked the system logs today. Logan's been monitoring your employee account remotely for months. Email, calendar, location tags from your building access swipes, everything. That's illegal. It's against company policy, but it's not illegal if he has administrative access, which he does now as regional liaison. Can you prove he was monitoring me? I took screenshots. But Gareth, there's more. He pulled out his phone, showed me an email chain. Logan to Cole, dated yesterday. Gareth is becoming a security risk. He's contacted external attorneys. He's making threats. I recommend we file a restraining order to protect company assets and personnel. I never made threats. Doesn't matter. They're creating documentation that says you did. So what do I do? Ralph sat down heavily. Honestly? You fight back harder. They're playing corporate warfare. You need to play the same game. I don't know how. You learn fast, or you lose everything. We ate burgers in silence for a while. Then Ralph said something that changed everything. I found something in the payroll records. Logan and Mara are in serious financial trouble, like bankruptcy-level trouble. They owe $200,000 in combined debt. Credit cards, car leases, Mara's failed business ventures. They're drowning. So this is about money. Everything's about money. Your pension is worth $600,000 if cashed out early. Your house equity is another $300,000. They need almost $1 million to stay afloat, and you're sitting on it. I worked 30 years for that pension. I know, but to them, you're not their father. You're a solution to their problem. I finished my burger. It tasted like cardboard. Ralph, I need access to the building. You're suspended. I can't. Not officially. I need to get in after hours. I need to access my computer files, collect evidence before they delete everything. That's breaking and entering. That's recovering stolen property. Ralph looked at me for a long moment. Then he pulled out his badge. I work night shift twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday, security's light. If someone were to follow me in during a loading bay access, I wouldn't be seen on cameras. Loading bay cameras have blind spots. I know where they all are. When's your next shift? Tonight, midnight to 8 a.m. I looked at the clock. 6:30 p.m., 5.5 hours to prepare. I'll be there, I said. This is risky. Everything's risky now. Ralph left at 7. I spent the next hours planning. What I needed from my office: files, emails, documentation of Logan's interference with safety protocols, evidence of his financial mismanagement. What I couldn't afford to leave behind: proof that I was competent, effective, and being systematically erased. At 11 p.m., I drove to Harland Cold Storage. Parked 3 blocks away in a residential area. Walked to the building using side streets, staying off main roads. The facility was massive at night, sodium lights casting orange shadows across empty parking lots. Only a few cars remained, night shift employees working the refrigeration units. I circled to the loading bay, waited in shadows. At 11:47 p.m., Ralph's truck pulled up. He climbed out, swiped his badge, and the bay door rolled up slowly. He glanced toward my hiding spot, gave a subtle nod, then walked inside. I counted to 30. Then slipped through the bay door as it started closing again. Inside, the warehouse was freezing. -10 degrees in the pharmaceutical storage section. My breath came out in clouds. Ralph was nowhere visible, already gone to a station to maintain plausible deniability. I moved through familiar corridors, avoiding the main security checkpoint, using the maintenance passages that most employees didn't know existed. I'd worked here 15 years. I knew every shortcut. My office was on the 2nd floor. I took the back stairs. The hallway was dark except for emergency lighting. My office door was closed but not locked. They hadn't changed the handle yet, just the access permissions. I slipped inside, closed the door, turned on my desk lamp, angling it away from the window. My computer was still there. I powered it on, praying they hadn't wiped it yet. Logan's screen appeared. I entered my credentials. Access denied. They'd locked me out. I tried my backup admin credentials, ones I'd created years ago for emergency system access. Access denied. Of course. Logan was thorough, but I'd expected this. I pulled out a USB drive Ralph had given me, one with password recovery tools, booted the computer from the USB. 10 minutes later, I was in. Immediately, I started copying files, emails, reports, safety documentation, everything Logan didn't want anyone to see. The computer worked slowly, files transferring at painful speeds. While I waited, I searched through my desk drawers, found my certification documents, the ones Logan claimed were company property, took photos of every page with my phone, found a folder marked Riverside Incident that I didn't remember creating. Opened it. Inside were modified versions of my safety reports. Someone had edited them, changed my recommendations, made me look incompetent. I photographed every page. The USB finished copying. I ejected it, pocketed it, shut down the computer. Then I heard voices in the hallway. I froze. "Checking the upper offices," Cole's voice said. "Protocol requires sweeps every 2 hours. Security patrol, unscheduled, or specifically scheduled because someone knew I'd try this." I turned off my desk lamp, moved to the window. Second floor, too high to jump safely. The footsteps got closer. Door handle turned. I slid behind the door just as it opened. Cole stepped inside, flashlight sweeping the room. Another security guard behind him. "Anything?" the guard asked. "Doesn't look like it," Cole replied, but his flashlight paused on my desk chair, which was slightly pulled out. I held my breath. Cole walked further into the office, checked behind the desk, checked the closet. I was pressed against the wall 3 feet from him, completely exposed if he turned around. His radio crackled. "Cole, we've got a delivery truck at the main gate. Need authorization." Cole keyed his radio. "On my way." He left the office. The guard followed. I waited until their footsteps faded. Then I slipped out, moving fast but quiet toward the back stairs. Behind me, I heard Cole's voice. "Wait, check that office again. Something's wrong." I ran. Down the stairs, through the maintenance corridor, past the refrigeration units with their ice-cold air burning my lungs. The loading bay was ahead, door closed. I hit the manual override button. Alarms immediately started blaring. The door began rising slowly, too slowly. Behind me, footsteps thundered. Shouting, the door was only halfway open. I dropped and rolled under it, scraping my back on the metal frame. Outside, cold night air. Freedom. I sprinted across the parking lot toward the side street where I'd left my truck. Behind me, Cole appeared in the loading bay doorway. "Stop! Security!" I didn't stop. Reached my truck, started the engine, pulled away just as Cole's vehicle screeched out of the parking lot behind me. I drove fast, taking random turns, losing him in residential neighborhoods. Eventually, I circled back to the hotel, parked in a different lot, took the stairs instead of the elevator. Back in my room, I locked the door, engaged every lock, and sat on the bed breathing hard. My phone buzzed. Text from Ralph. "You okay?" "Yeah." They know someone was in the building. Cole's reviewing camera footage. I deleted the loading bay segments but couldn't get to the hallway cameras in time. Did they see my face? Not clearly. Shadows and angles. But they'll know it was you. Doesn't matter. I got what I needed. I plugged the USB into my laptop. Started reviewing files. Emails from Logan to Cole discussing problem employees, meaning me. Financial reports showing Logan had approved cost-cutting measures that violated safety standards. Documentation of equipment failures that Logan had covered up to save money. And one email that made everything clear. From Logan to Mara, dated 3 months ago. "Dad's pension early withdrawal penalty is only 20%. We can still net $480K. Combined with house equity, we're looking at $750K liquid assets within 6 months. Enough to clear our debts and start fresh. The facility upstate costs $3,200 a month. Medicaid covers it after first year. This is our way out." They'd planned everything. 6 months ago, maybe longer. I wasn't their father anymore. I was their retirement plan. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. "Mr. Tilson, this is Officer Garrett with Harland Security. We have footage of you trespassing on company property tonight. Mr. Hartwright wants to file charges. I was collecting personal property. You no longer have authorization to enter the facility. This constitutes criminal trespass. Tell Cole I have documentation of safety violations that I'll be happy to share with OSHA if he pursues charges." Silence on the line. "Mr. Tilson, I'll relay your message." He hung up. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Text from Logan. "You really want to play it this way?" I typed back, "You started this. And I'll finish it. Tomorrow I'm filing the competency evaluation paperwork. You'll be assessed by a state psychiatrist. And when they determine you're mentally unfit, which they will, based on tonight's criminal behavior, Everything transfers to me legally. Good luck with that. I don't need luck. I have evidence. You broke into a secure facility. You made threats. You're displaying classic paranoid behavior. The evaluation is a formality. We'll see. No, Dad, we won't see. Because after tomorrow, you won't have any legal standing to fight this. It's over. Accept it. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and started typing. An email to Patricia Reeves, my attorney. Attached every file I'd recovered tonight. Added my own documentation, photographs, timeline, everything. Subject line, urgent, elder abuse case, need immediate action. I hit send. Then I typed another email. This one to OSHA, regional office. Attached Logan's safety violation emails. Subject line, multiple safety protocol violations at Harland Cold Storage. I hit send. Then I typed a third email. To the company's corporate headquarters, HR department. Subject line, formal complaint, Logan Tilson, financial misconduct. I attached everything. Every email, every document. I hit send. Then I opened a fourth email. This one to Mara's influencer sponsors, the companies that paid her to post lifestyle content. Subject line, fraud alert, Mara Chen, Mara Tilson. I attached documentation of her fake reviews, paid sponsorships she'd claimed were organic recommendations, FTC disclosure violations. I hit send. 4 emails, 4 separate attacks. My phone exploded with messages. Logan, Mara, Cole, all furious. I turned the phone off, set it on the nightstand. Tomorrow, their world would start collapsing. Tonight, I needed sleep. But first, I pulled out a notebook and started writing. A list, names, actions, consequences. Logan had taught me something valuable tonight. Betrayal doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in layers. Calculated moves designed to systematically destroy someone. I could play that game too. I just needed to be smarter, colder, more thorough. I wrote until 3 a.m. By the time I finished, I had a complete strategy. Step 1, defend against the competency evaluation. Step 2, destroy their credibility. Step 3, take back everything they'd tried to steal. Step 4, make sure they never tried this again. I fell asleep with my notebook open, pen still in my hand. Somewhere across town, Logan and Mara were probably doing the same thing, planning their next move. This was war now, and I'd stopped caring about mercy. Monday morning, I walked back into Harland Cold Storage and Logistics like I'd never left. Mitchell at security smiled when he saw me. "Welcome back, Mr. Tilson." He handed me a new badge. Same photo, updated clearances. My name embossed in gold again. I swiped it at the checkpoint. Green light. Pleasant beep. Access granted. 15 years of certification restored in a single swipe. Ralph met me at my office door. "New director wants to see you. Conference room B, 9 a.m. "Who is she?" "Sharon Valdez. Came up through operations at their Philadelphia facility. No nonsense. Lots of safety focus. So she'll hate me for causing corporate drama. Or she'll respect you for exposing real problems. Could go either way." I dropped my bag at my desk. Everything had been cleaned out, then restocked. New computer, fresh supplies, like they were trying to erase the evidence of my suspension. At 8:55 a.m., I walked to conference room B. Sharon Valdez was already there. Late 50s, gray hair pulled back, dressed practically. She stood when I entered. "Gareth Tilson," she said. "I've read your file." "All of it?" "Every page, including your safety complaints, which were accurate, including your son's modifications, which were dangerous, including the entire mess that cost this facility 3 months of productivity. I'm sorry about... Don't apologize. You did your job. Logan Tilson didn't do his. Corporate made the right call removing him." I relaxed slightly. "However," Sharon continued, "we need to establish something immediately. You're senior operations specialist, not director, not management. You don't have authority to file complaints without coming through me first. Clear?" "Clear." Good. Now tell me what actually happened with the Riverside incident, I explained. The refrigeration system, the corner cutting, the potential for pharmaceutical temperature failures that could have cost us FDA certification. Sharon listened without interrupting. When I finished, she nodded. You made the right call. Logan made the wrong one, but you also made enemies doing it. Half the staff thinks you're a hero. The other half thinks you got your son fired out of spite. Let them think whatever they want. That's not how workplaces function. Perception matters. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to do your job perfectly. No drama, no complaints unless absolutely necessary, no stirring up the past, just clean, professional work. Can you do that? Yes. Because if you can't, I need to know now. This facility can't afford another 3 months of chaos. I understand. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you just burned every bridge in your personal life to win a corporate fight. That's dedication or obsession, and I need to know which. I met her eyes. It was survival. Fair enough. Get back to work. I left the conference room feeling strangely validated. Sharon Valdez didn't care about family drama or moral victories. She cared about operations, safety, results. I could work with that. My first day back was surprisingly normal. Processed shipments, reviewed temperature logs, caught 3 protocol violations by new hires. Minor stuff, easily fixed. By 5 p.m., I felt almost human again. Ralph found me in the loading bay. How'd it go with Valdez? She's fair, practical, I like her. Good, because Cole's lawyer contacted her this morning, threatening wrongful termination suit. Cole was Logan's hire. He participated in the suspension conspiracy. He has no case. Doesn't mean he won't try. Corporate's preparing for legal warfare. Let them fight. I did my part. Ralph studied me carefully. You're different. How? Colder, like something broke and you decided not to fix it. Maybe something did break. Your family? I don't have family anymore. I have genetic connections who tried to rob me. That's different. Gareth, I'm fine, Ralph. Really. I won. They lost. Life continues. What else is there? Forgiveness? Forgiveness requires remorse. They're not sorry. They're just broke. Ralph sighed. All right, but if you need to talk, I won't. He left. I finished my shift, drove home, made dinner, chicken and vegetables, ate alone at my kitchen table. My phone buzzed. Email from Patricia Reeves. Asset freeze successful. Pension and property now legally protected. Logan and Mara filed bankruptcy today. All claims against you dismissed. You're officially clear. Closing your case. Final invoice attached. I paid the invoice. $15,000 well spent. Another email arrived. From Logan. Subject line, empty. I almost deleted it without reading. But curiosity won. Dad, the house is gone. The cars are gone. Our savings are gone. Everything we built disappeared in 3 months because you decided revenge was more important than family. I hope it was worth it. I hope destroying our lives makes you feel powerful. Because from here, all I see is a bitter old man who chose anger over forgiveness. You won. Congratulations. You're alone, angry, and victorious. What a legacy. I won't contact you again. Mara and I are moving across the country to start over. Somewhere you can't reach us. Somewhere we can rebuild without your shadow destroying everything we touch. If you ever regret this, don't bother apologizing. We won't believe you. Logan. I read it twice. Felt nothing. No guilt. No regret. No satisfaction either. Just emptiness. They were leaving. Good. Easier that way. I deleted the email, blocked his address, moved on. The next 3 weeks passed in mechanical routine. Work, home, sleep, repeat. Ralph tried inviting me to dinner with his family. I declined. Sharon asked if I wanted to join the management training program. I declined. Mitchell suggested I try the company bowling league. I declined. People stopped asking. By December, I'd settled into a new pattern. Work efficiently, speak minimally, exist without engaging. Then Patricia Reeves called. "Gareth, I have strange news." "How strange?" "The bankruptcy trustee discovered something while liquidating Logan and Mara's assets. There's a property deed in Mara's name, small commercial building downtown, estimated value $200,000. So she never disclosed it during bankruptcy proceedings. That's fraud. The trustee's filing charges. Good. More consequences. There's more. The property's registered to an LLC, Chen Digital Consulting, but the LLC has a second owner listed. Want to guess who?" My stomach tightened. "No. Your name's on the documents, listed as 50% owner, dated 3 years ago." "That's impossible. I believe you. But someone forged your signature on incorporation documents, used your social security number, made you legally liable for the LLC's debts." "How much debt?" $90,000, mostly unpaid taxes and contractor fees from Mara's failed business ventures. I stood up, started pacing. They set me up. Looks that way. The property's worthless now, pending foreclosure. But the debt is very real, and legally, you're responsible for half. How do I fight this? Prove forgery. Get handwriting analysis. Show you never had knowledge of the LLC. It's doable but expensive. How expensive? Another $10,000 in legal fees minimum. I looked at my bank balance. $23,000 remaining after Patricia's previous invoices, hotel costs, living expenses. "Do it," I said. "Are you sure? This could drain everything you have left." "They're not getting away with this. Gareth, at some point you need to consider whether fighting is worth. It's worth it. File everything." She sighed. "Okay, give me a week." 1 week later, Patricia called back. "Good news and bad news. Good news. Handwriting analysis confirms forgery. Your signature on those LLC documents is fake. Bad news. Proving forgery doesn't eliminate the debt. It just shifts liability back to Mara." "So I'm clear?" "Legally, yes, but the creditors are still pursuing the debt. They'll go after Mara, who's bankrupt. When they can't collect from her, they'll try creative legal arguments to hold you liable as a fraudulent transfer participant." "That's insane. That's debt collection. They'll try anything." "How long will this take?" "Months. Maybe a year. And it'll cost you every penny you have left fighting it." I sat down heavily. "So even winning costs me everything. Welcome to legal warfare. Nobody walks away clean." I hung up, stared at my empty house. Logan and Mara were across the country, starting over. I was here, drowning in legal fees and debt challenges that might never end. Victory felt like quicksand. My phone buzzed. Text from Ralph. "You okay? Haven't seen you at work in 3 days." I looked at the calendar. Had I really been home for 3 days? Time was blurring. I texted back, "Sick. Be in tomorrow." "Need anything?" "No. But I did need something. I needed this to end. Really end. Not just legally, but psychologically. I needed closure." That night, I drove to the old paper mill. Same place Logan and I had met weeks ago. Parked in the same spot, walked through the same gap in the fence. Inside, the building felt even more desolate. Winter had settled into the broken windows, bringing cold that seeped into bones. I climbed to the second floor, stood in the same spot Logan had stood, and I tried to understand. How had this happened? How had a father and son ended up here, in this abandoned building, fighting over money and pride? I remembered Logan as a child, laughing, curious, trusting. I remembered teaching him to ride a bike, to tie his shoes, to stand up for himself. When had he stopped being that child? When had I stopped being the father he could trust? Or had we both been pretending the relationship was something it never was? My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. "Mr. Tilson?" A man's voice. Professional. Cautious. "Yes?" This is Detective Morris with the County Fraud Division. I need to ask you some questions about Chen Digital Consulting LLC. My heart sank. What kind of questions? The bankruptcy trustee flagged your name on the incorporation documents. We're investigating potential identity theft and fraud. I need you to come to the station tomorrow to provide a statement. Am I being charged with something? Not currently. But we need to determine your level of involvement. I had no involvement. My signature was forged. That's what we're trying to confirm. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., County Courthouse, 3rd floor. He hung up. I stood in the abandoned mill, holding my phone, and laughed. Because of course. Of course Logan's forgery would trigger a criminal investigation. Of course I'd have to prove my innocence for crimes I didn't commit. Of course victory came with one more layer of hell. I drove home. Didn't sleep. Spent the night preparing documentation. Every bank statement, every email, every piece of evidence showing I had no knowledge of the LLC. At 10 a.m., I sat across from Detective Morris in a windowless interview room. He reviewed my documents for 30 minutes without speaking. Finally, "Your story checks out. The handwriting analysis is conclusive. You're a victim here, not a participant." So I'm clear? From criminal charges, yes, but the civil debt remains a separate issue. I know. Mr. Tilson, can I give you some advice? Sure. Let it go. The debt, the anger, all of it. You've proven your point. They're bankrupt. You're vindicated. Continuing to fight just costs you more money and peace of mind. They forged my signature, and they'll face consequences for that. But you don't need to be the one enforcing every consequence. Sometimes winning means walking away. I can't just let... Yes, you can. That's exactly what you can do. You can decide that your mental health, your financial stability, and your remaining years matter more than punishing two people who've already lost everything. I wanted to argue, but he was right. Thank you, Detective. Good luck, Mr. Tilson. You're going to need it. I left the courthouse and sat in my truck for 20 minutes. The detective's words echoed. Let it go. Could I? After everything? I pulled out my phone, opened my contacts, stared at Logan's blocked number. Then I unblocked it. Typed a message. I'm done fighting. The debt's yours to handle. I've proved forgery. Criminal investigation closed. Do whatever you want with the LLC. I don't care anymore. Don't contact me again. I hit send before I could reconsider. 3 dots appeared immediately. Logan was typing. Then they disappeared. No response came. I drove home, called Patricia. I'm dropping everything, I said. The debt collection defense, the forgery lawsuit, all of it. Are you sure? Yes. Let the creditors chase Mara. Let the bankruptcy trustee handle the LLC. I'm out. That's probably wise. You've spent enough. How much have I spent total? $27,000 in legal fees, plus hotel costs, lost wages during suspension. I'd estimate you're down $40,000 from where you started. $40,000 to prove my son was a thief. Worth it? Patricia asked. Ask me in 10 years. Fair enough. I'll close your case officially. Take care of yourself, Gareth. She hung up. I sat in my kitchen, looked around my quiet house, alone, vindicated, damaged, free. Victory tasted like ashes, but it was mine. 3 months passed like water through fingers. I worked, came home, existed. Sharon Valdez called me into her office in March. You're doing excellent work, consistent, reliable, but you look like hell. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment. When's the last time you took vacation? 2019. That's unacceptable. You have 8 weeks accumulated. Take 2 of them, starting Monday. I don't need... Yes, you do. You're functioning, not living. There's a difference. 2 weeks, non-negotiable. Go somewhere. Do something. Remember what life feels like outside this warehouse. I took the vacation. Didn't know what to do with it. Ended up driving north. No destination, just distance. Found a cabin rental in Vermont. Small, isolated, overlooking a frozen lake. Rented it for a week. The silence was overwhelming at first. No warehouse sounds, no traffic, no human voices, just wind and cold and emptiness. I spent the first 3 days doing nothing, staring at the lake, drinking coffee, avoiding thoughts. On the 4th day, I started thinking anyway, about Logan, about what Detective Morris said, about whether revenge had been worth the cost. I didn't reach any conclusions. On the 5th day, my phone rang. Number I didn't recognize. Hello? Mr. Tilson, this is Grace Hartley. I'm a social worker with the County Assistance Program. I'm trying to reach Logan Tilson, and you're listed as an emergency contact. What happened? Mr. Tilson was admitted to County General Hospital 3 days ago. He's being treated for complications from… She paused. From what? I demanded. Attempted suicide. He's stable now, but requires ongoing care. We've been trying to reach next of kin. You're the only contact we have. The phone felt heavy. Where's Mara? We don't know. She's not responding to our calls. Can you come to the hospital? I'm in Vermont. How soon can you get here? I looked at the frozen lake, thought about Detective Morris, about letting it go, about walking away. I can't come, I said. Mr. Tilson, your son needs… He's not my son anymore. He made that clear. I'm not his emergency contact. Remove my name from whatever list you have. Sir, he has no one else. That's not my problem. And I'm supposed to care because why? Because we share DNA? He tried to destroy my life. He forged my signature. He attempted to institutionalize me. Why would I care what happens to him now? Grace Hartley was quiet for a moment. Because he's a human being in crisis. He's a stranger who used to be my son. Call his mother. She left 20 years ago, but maybe she'll care. We tried. She's unreachable. Then he's on his own, like he wanted. I hung up. Sat on the cabin porch, breathing hard. That fact should have meant something, should have triggered guilt or concern or some parental instinct. Instead, I felt empty. My phone rang again. Grace Hartley. I didn't answer. She called 3 more times, left voicemails each time. Mr. Tilson, please. He's asking for you. He's crying. He said he's sorry. Please, just come talk to him. Mr. Tilson, I understand you're angry, but suicide attempts indicate severe psychological crisis. He needs professional help. He needs family support. Even if you don't forgive him, please don't abandon him in this state. Mr. Tilson, he's being transferred to a psychiatric facility tomorrow. After that, we won't be able to reach him for 72 hours minimum. If you want to see him, it has to be today. I listened to each voicemail, deleted each one. Then I called Patricia Reeves. Gareth? I thought your case was closed. Logan attempted suicide. Hospital's calling me. Jesus, are you going? Should I? That's not a legal question. I'm asking anyway. Patricia sighed. Honestly? No, you've done enough. He's an adult who made adult choices. You're not responsible for his mental health. But if he dies, then he dies. That's tragic, but it's not your fault. You didn't pull the trigger. You didn't forge documents or try to steal his future. He did that to you. His crisis is not your responsibility. Everyone keeps saying that, but they also keep calling me. Because the system needs someone to transfer responsibility to. Don't let them guilt you into becoming that person. What if I regret not going? What if you regret going? What if he manipulates you again? What if this is another scheme? Suicide attempts can be legitimate or performative. You don't owe him the benefit of the doubt. She was right. Logically, completely right. But something nagged at me. Patricia, when does revenge end? When you decide it ends. And if I never decide? Then you carry it forever. Your choice, Gareth. But revenge is expensive, not just financially. It costs pieces of who you are. We hung up. I sat on the cabin porch as afternoon became evening, watching the frozen lake, thinking about a child who used to laugh, a teenager who used to trust me, a man who'd become a stranger. At 7 p.m., I started driving south, reached County General Hospital at 2 a.m. The psychiatric wing was on the 4th floor, locked doors, buzzers, security protocols. Grace Hartley met me at the nurse's station, late 30s, exhausted, kind eyes. "Thank you for coming," she said. "I'm not here to reconcile. I'm here to confirm he's alive. Then I'm leaving." That's more than most do. Room 417. I walked down the hallway. Institutional lighting, antiseptic smell, quiet desperation. Room 417 door was partially open. I pushed it wider. Logan lay in the hospital bed, wrists bandaged, IV drip connected to his left arm, face pale and hollow. He looked smaller than I remembered, younger, broken. His eyes were closed. I thought he was sleeping. Then he spoke. "You came. For 5 minutes. Then I'm gone. That's 5 minutes more than I deserve." I stood in the doorway. Didn't enter the room. Maintained distance. "What happened?" I asked. "Everything fell apart. We lost everything. Mara left me. Said she couldn't handle the failure. I tried to find work, but my reputation's destroyed. Every job interview ends with them finding the bankruptcy filings, the investigations. I'm unemployable. So I didn't see another option. There's always another option." Says the man who has a job, a home, a future. I earned those by not trying to destroy someone else's life. Logan's face crumpled. I know what I did. I replay it every day, every decision, every lie. It destroys me. Good. He looked at me, really looked at me. "You're never going to forgive me, are you?" "Why would I?" "Because I'm your son. You were my son. Past tense. Now you're someone who tried to erase me and failed. That's all." "Dad?" "Don't call me that. You lost that right." He turned away, tears on his cheeks. "Then why did you come?" "Because Grace Hartley called 6 times. Because I needed to confirm you're alive so I could stop worrying about whether I'd regret not showing up." "And do you? Regret it?" I studied him, this broken man in a hospital bed, this stranger who carried my genetics and my last name and nothing else of me. "No," I said, "I don't regret coming, but I don't forgive you either." "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. I don't want anything from you. That's the point. You're irrelevant to my life now." "So you're just going to watch me suffer?" "I'm not watching anything. I'm walking away. What you do after that is your decision. Get help, get therapy, rebuild your life. Or don't. I don't care anymore. You cared enough to drive here at 2 a.m. He had a point. "I cared enough to confirm you're alive," I corrected. "That doesn't mean I care about your recovery or your future." "How generous. It's more than you gave me." Logan closed his eyes. "You're right. About everything. I destroyed us. I chose money over family. I deserve all of this." "Yes, you do." "So what now?" "Now you get transferred to psychiatric care. They help you, or they don't. Eventually you're released. You start over somewhere far from here. We never speak again. End of story." "That's cold. That's realistic." Grace Hartley appeared in the doorway. "Mr. Tilson, visiting hours end at 3 a.m. You have 15 minutes. I nodded, turned to leave. "Dad," Logan called. "Wait." I stopped. Didn't turn around. "I'm sorry," he said. "Truly, genuinely sorry. I know it doesn't change anything, but I need you to know I understand what I did, and I'll carry that forever." I almost said something, almost offered some small piece of forgiveness or understanding. Then I remembered the scissors, the access denial, the forged documents, the plan to institutionalize me. "Sorry doesn't repair this," I said. "Sorry doesn't give me back $40,000 or 6 months of legal hell or the peace of mind you stole. Sorry is just a word people use when consequences arrive." I walked out. Grace Hartley followed me to the elevator. "He needs family support." He has no family. He destroyed that. Everyone deserves a second chance. He had second chances, multiple chances. He burned them all. So you're just abandoning him? I'm accepting that some relationships can't be saved. That's different from abandonment. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside. Mr. Tilson, Grace called. Forgiveness is for you, not him. Carrying anger forever only hurts you. Maybe, I said as the doors closed. But forgiveness rewards him. And I'm done rewarding people who hurt me. I drove back to Vermont, spent the remaining 3 days at the cabin, tried not to think about Logan in that hospital bed, tried not to feel anything about his tears or his apology, mostly succeeded. On my last day at the cabin, I walked down to the frozen lake, stood at the edge, looked at my reflection in the ice, a man of 58, alone, victorious, damaged. Detective Morris had asked if revenge was worth it. I still didn't have an answer, but I had something else: survival, autonomy, proof that I could fight back and win. Maybe that was enough. Maybe that had to be enough. I drove home on Sunday, returned to work Monday, resumed my routine. Sharon asked how the vacation went. I said fine. She didn't believe me, but didn't push. Ralph asked if I'd heard about Logan. I said yes. He didn't ask for details. Life continued, quiet, structured, empty. Victory continued, tasting like ashes, but it was still victory. And I was still standing.